Hello and welcome back to True Crime Guys podcast, Headlines and Shenanigans edition.
Shenanigans!
That's right. It's been another month, Andy. Can you believe it?
Oh yes, God so.
It flies by.
I can't even. I literally was talking about this earlier with my fiance. I was just like, I feel like every day is a week now. It's just weird.
Wait,
or every week is a day.
Yeah, every week
is a day now.
There you go. I know. It's like you leave the studio, and the next thing I know, you're pulling up in the driveway again. I'm like, oh. Andy's back. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll record another episode.
Yes.
But this week, it was a little easier on me because you're hosting.
Right?
Yeah, I'm so happy for that, Andy.
Good, Michael, good.
But before we get into all your stories, I got to remind everybody that you can catch these episodes early and ad-free with a little bonus content from Andy and myself at the end of every single episode on Patreon. Patreon.com/truecrimeguys. And also, don't forget to check out our other shows here on the free platform, Strange and Unexplained, Cryptic Soup, and Sandu Stories, wherever you listen to free podcasts. All right? All right, Andy. I'll pass the mic to you, bud.
Okay, Michael, I have a question for you. For our first headline of the day,
All right.
I want to ask you, how feel like you've had a pretty happy in your career choices, Michael? Feel like you're pretty happy?
Yeah, I
Good.
think I am.
I feel like we have a pretty good career here. I feel like it's pretty good industry
fun.
to be in, pretty part of. But Michael, do you know who the happiest industry workers are according to a new poll?
Do they work at Zappos?
No, but that's good. Michael, according to a new poll, marijuana industry workers are the happiest in any job sector in the U.S.
Well, no shit.
I wonder when they conducted the survey.
Wow.
What time did they conduct it at?
What time? And who, how many non-stone people?
All the surveys were conducted at 4:30 p.m. on a
Right, yeah, exactly.
But hourly workers in the marijuana industry rank at the top of the list of happiest employees across multiple sectors, with more than 9 in 10 reporting positive sentiment in their job, according to a new survey.
There you go.
I'm like, you know what? Make it
when
legal.
yeah.
You want to improve the quality of life across the board? Look at this survey, people.
Boom. It's simple as that.
The annual Shift Pulse report from the workforce management platform Deputy gauged how hourly workers felt about their jobs in 10 common industries, from cannabis to cleaning services to firearms. While the overall finding of the report is the American workers are becoming less happy, with the happiness sentiment down to 78.5% compared to 80% the prior year, the sector with the most content employees, marijuana.
There you go.
Why is this not a bigger industry?
Right.
We talk about work-life balance.
Workers.
You want to have a happy workforce? You want to have a good, stable workforce? Right. There we go. It's all about that work-life balance, baby. And if you got a happy life, happy work, it's all in balance, perfectly balanced, as all things should be. What did we learn from Thanos? Come on.
That's right. It's all about balance.
A total of nearly 92% of cannabis and tobacco hourly workers said they feel positively about their jobs. By contrast, that sentiment is shared by 91% of hourly employees in catering, 90% in cafes, 90% in dentistry, 89% in gyms, and it just keeps going down with remarkably high grades.
Those are really high,
Still,
especially
I'm
for
surprised.
dentistry.
Even in childcare.
You guys like torture?
84% in cleaning services. You get some happy cleaning services people, which
some people like to clean, man. It's satisfying.
Some
See
people are
something
good at
dirty
it.
go nice, I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, it's noticeable. That
What was the second one?
the second highest?
Yeah. You say catering?
I think it was catering. Yeah,
Catering?
I mean, yeah, free food. Get a bunch.
Yeah,
Get to go to
I
events
guess
with
so.
fancy food. Get to and you get to make your own plates at the end. Just walk around. Get to
Yeah.
go all these fancy ass events.
I know people who work for catering services, and they actually do like their job quite a bit.
Yeah, I've known a lot of caterers over the years, and they do. It can
They're
be a really
passionate
fun
about it
industry.
even.
Yeah, like I said, you get to go to a lot of fun events. You get to go to weddings and parties and all kinds. You can meet crazy people.
Yeah.
You get to have these amazing dishes, depending on whether or
I
not you
guess I
prepare
never thought
them or all
about it
those
that way.
things. So
because I don't like going to weddings and parties, so I definitely don't want to work there too.
makes sense.
Seems bad.
But I mean, when I used to work in breweries, I always made friends with the caterers. All the private events that were there, I'm making friends with those caterers because I'm getting a plate of food too. I'm just saying, I'm here, so I mean, I might as well.
Might as well, and there's always extra food.
Yeah, we'll make a trade here, man. You guys give me some food. I'll take it back to the
tons of
fridge. We'll
extra
get you a
food.
bunch of beer. Come on, we'll spec this out.
There we go.
Give me them
Barter
ribs.
system, man. We got to bring it back.
Give me them ribs. But yeah, like I said, that's a pretty good little curve right there that we're seeing in this industry. We're talking about this industry getting legalized across the board. More places are getting dispensaries and growing abilities.
Yeah.
And North Carolina, where we live, is just right there. It's so ripe for the picking.
It is.
Like we have all the old tobacco fields.
I'd be a bud tender.
Right? I'd be
Yeah,
a
man.
connoisseur.
I'd be so happy just walking through fields.
Right? You'd be
harvesting.
a grower. You'd be like, it'd be one of the first times Michael ever be like, I'm going to a bank. I'm taking a big ass loan. I'm buying a bunch of land.
Oh, I need some damn seeds.
Yeah. We're getting this thing going right now.
Oh, man. Yep.
But yeah, like I said, North
I think it'll be
Carolina's right for the
federal
picking.
before North Carolina does it as a state.
Maybe. I mean, it's gone
We'll
through a
see.
few things, but like I said, we have a lot of fields just waiting to be grown again, and lots of the industry.
We have the infrastructure.
The infrastructure.
For Tobaccoville.
Right?
Come on, man.
Come on, people. Today was the last day you let me buy my flavored vapes. Let me go buy my goddamn weed then.
Seriously.
The unhappiest sectors, by the way, in the hourly workers are those in pharmaceuticals with only 14%, or pharmaceutical delivery and postal services with 14%.
Yeah.
Animal health with only 12%. And that's a tough industry right there. It's like people in animal health, it's like you go into it because you love animals,
Yeah.
but you go into it knowing you're going to have to deal with a lot of sad animals. And it's it's a heartbreaking thing. Same thing with then
And
doctors'
tough
offices.
owners.
Yeah. A lot of animal abuse.
Aggressive animals. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And other hospitality services, 8%, which, that makes sense. Hospitality industry.
Yeah.
That's a passion industry.
Yeah.
And most people are still passionate. They're not happy about it.
Right. They get a little passion fatigue.
Yeah,
They call it nowadays.
Like a good chef or something. It's like, they're not happy people. They're miserable.
Right. they're just proud people, chefs are, as they should be.
Some of
If
them.
people if they make good food.
Yes. Some of them should be. Some of them, no.
No. Right.
But for employees and policymakers, this is a call to action. Where people live still heavily influences how they feel about what they work. So no single national strategy will solve for sentiment without considering these local realities, the report concludes. So yeah, if the people are speaking out about these industries are actually happy places to work, you're going to see a flood of people trying to get into these industries.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is the pay for those industries is going to go down.
To an extent, or it might, depending on how much they can kind of weed out and they can pick and choose. Because if those industries are only limited in their growth, like if the industries can't expand, then the industries can be more selective with who they pull into them.
Right.
Now, if the industries can grow, then yes, the pay can go down. They can hire more people. They can do all these things, which is also great, up and downs, but still.
Yeah.
So, marijuana workers might rank among the happiest workers in the industry, Michael, or in all industries across the board. So, I feel like if we want to see a happier nation, I feel like this is the simple answer right here. Simple answer.
Hey, preaching to the choir.
But until it's federally legal, Michael, I feel like we're a little sad, but we're not so sad. But I feel like if I
Don't
could
let it get me down.
If I could, I would probably play you the world's tiniest violin.
Yeah.
And now I actually can.
Do you have one?
Well, Michael, scientists have created the world's tiniest violin.
I'm glad they're working on that.
They listen.
We don't have anything important going on. So
Listen, the bit needed to be fine tuned. Okay. Everyone kept saying it can't be done. That's not really how you play a violin. Well, now it is.
God.
If you ever have a complaint over your timetables, Luxembourg may. Or sorry, wrong thing. But yeah, the violin measures just 35 microns long and 13 microns wide, with a micron being 1/1,000,000th of a meter.
1/1,000,000th of a meter. Okay.
1/1,000,000th of a meter.
Why don't you just tell me how much of a centimeter it is or something?
I want you to do the real math, Michael. Come on.
Why don't you tell me how much of a millimeter it is?
Listen, I don't know the real math.
Is it?
But what?
No, that's 1,000th.
But for physicists at the University of Luxembourg, believe they have created the world's smallest violin using nanotechnology. And nanotechnology sometimes is fascinating and sometimes it's terrifying.
Wasted money and time.
Listen, they had to make sure it worked. I would rather them test it on something as silly as this than testing it on something like, let's repopulate the bees with nanotech. Like, let's test it on the tiny violin first, see if that works. Okay.
I see what you're saying.
So they say work on the tiny instrument, which is smaller than the width of a human hair, will help with research into an array of applications, from improving the efficiency of computers to finding new ways of harvesting energy. Professor Kelly Morrison, head of the university's physics department, said, "A lot of what we've learned in the process has actually laid the groundwork for research we are now undertaking." That's what I'm saying. It's like they're testing this stuff on something silly. It's like, can we make this work? It's like, what's something tiny that we can make that everybody's always joked about? Oh, the world's smallest violin. Got it. Put it down. We're doing that. So it's like, if it works, this technology can then be implemented in other places.
Attention to the funding for the technology. Yeah.
But it was created to test the capabilities of the university's new nanolithography system, which allows researchers to build and study tiny structures. So our nanolithography system allows us to design experiments that probe materials in different ways using light, magnetism, or electricity and observe their responses. Once we understand how materials behave, we can start applying that knowledge to develop new technologies, whether it's improving computer efficiencies or finding new ways to harvest energy. But first, we need to understand the fundamental science, and this system enables us to do just that on the tiniest scales.
Yeah.
So
right on.
So yeah, the world's smallest violin is now actually being a real thing. The violin is a microscopic image rather than a playable instrument, and has not yet been officially confirmed as the world's smallest violin, but I believe it so. So yeah, a small chip was coated with 2 layers of it's like a gel-like stuff called resist before it was placed under the nano fraser, a nano sculpting machine. Like I said, nanotechnology is so fascinating to me. I love the idea of it. But at the same time, it's very fucking terrifying. It's like AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely.
Like I said, once I saw that Black Mirror
Because if
episode,
they can make a violin, they sure as hell can make a goddamn computer chip that you could accidentally drink in your cup of water.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I saw, not too long ago, I saw a whole article about there was like a mosquito-sized drone that was being tested, that was able to just go around, record all the things. It's like, yep, we are Black Mirror adjacent. We're there. We're right there. Just turn the page and boom. Dystopian. All right, cool.
There we go.
So yeah.
Speaking of Black Mirror, I think there's some new episodes out. At least there's some that I haven't seen.
Yeah. Yeah. So whenever the dystopian page turns on us, Michael, we now have the world's tiniest violin to play as the ship sinks around us.
Great.
Just looking at it, just under the microscope, just.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah. I thought that was just a kind of a silly story for headlines and shenanigans. But nanotechnology is fascinating to me. But yeah, the first little experiment to do is make the tiniest violin. Smaller than a human hair.
At least the first one they're telling us about.
The first one that we're going to know about publicly.
Probably the last one.
But for our next story, Michael, we are actually going to talk about a big headline.
Okay.
Because it's actually
not a micro headline.
This was an ongoing story. Yeah, not a nano headline. But this was happening as of recording this episode. This was happening yesterday. This started happening yesterday evening, and it finally did come to a conclusion. So we were able to get some more information about it. But the suspect in the deadly Idaho ambush.
Oh my God! Yes.
Of the firefighters.
This is insane.
So he was kind of he engaged in a shootout with police. They believe he took his own life. They're kind of just trying to put together the why behind this whole thing now.
Yeah, that'd be good to know.
So if you guys have heard about this by now, there was a brush fire that was started in Idaho. Where firefighters were summoned to put out the fire, and then they began taking sniper fire from an unknown suspect. And 2 of the firefighters were shot. One of them was, I think, dead on the scene. One of them was fighting for his life in the hospital. But it was this crazy incident where nobody could understand what was going on because it seemed like out of a movie. Like this was like an ambush for firefighters, which made no sense. But a firefighter was fighting for his life Monday while authorities in Idaho were trying to determine why a sniper ignited a blaze before ambushing and fatally shooting 2 responding firefighters. The suspected sniper was found dead following a shootout with police, Kootenai County Sheriff Bob Norris said. The wounded firefighter was in stable condition late Sunday as of this article. And we're recording this on Monday, the day after this article.
Right.
So the suspected gunman was identified as Wes Rowley. He was age 20, Norris confirmed in Monday's press conference.
Damn, 20 years old.
Apparently he wanted to be a firefighter at some point, and maybe this was his rejection response.
Are you speculating, or is
this part of the headline of this article is the suspect was interested in becoming a firefighter?
Oh, okay.
Norris said law enforcement received a 911 call Sunday afternoon of a brush fire and were notified a short time later that firefighters were taking gunfire. Officers locked down nearby neighborhoods and hunted for the shooter in hilly terrain covered with thick brush while smoke billowed from the growing fire. Officers then located and exchanged gunfire with the shooter, Norris said, and it appears that in the gunfight, the suspect took his own life. Investigators found a flint starter on Rowley and believed he used the device to start the blaze. They also found a shotgun on the suspect and were still investigating the scene for other materials. This discovery was on Canfield Mountain, a popular hiking destination outside the city of Coeur d'Alene. It's like I'm gonna butcher it. It's like a French name.
Gotcha.
Coeur d'Alene. About 6 hours of chaos this whole time. But yeah, this was a total ambush, Norris said. These firefighters did not stand a chance. The suspect came from an arborist family, which
How is that relevant?
Norris said, and appeared
You
to
don't give a shit if they cut trees.
Yeah, right. Appeared to fire at the firefighters from a tree that he had climbed at one point.
Oh, that's what they're like.
So-
That's how he got up there, as
He
if arborists are only people that can climb trees.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I've never climbed a tree before. But at one point, the suspect had expressed interest in becoming a firefighter. We don't know if there's a nexus between what that desire and what happened just yet. But one of the slain firefighters worked at Coutini County Fire and Rescue, and the other worked for Coeur d'Alene Fire Department. So the fire so far has grown to 26 acres in size, as he expected authorities would have a containment line around the fire by the end of the day. So the fire is still fucking ongoing. This is a goddamn brush fire that this guy started.
Oh my God.
And then immediately shot the first two firefighters who came to the scene.
And then shot himself.
And yes,
when the police arrived.
Once the police arrived and located him.
Did he shoot any police as well?
He got into a gunfight with them, but I don't think he
Okay.
actually wounded any of them.
Didn't hit anybody.
Says Rowley appeared to be living out of his car and had at least 5 prior interactions with local law enforcement that were very, very minor in nature. Norris said he cooperated on each one of them. But Norris said at one point he appeared to be living out of a restaurant and the police asked him to leave. He appeared to be living out of his car at the time of the shooting, adding to it that it was full of materials and they have not even fully been able to inventory the car yet.
Holy shit. Like explosives and
He
guns?
just says of materials.
Materials.
So I'm sure
Is that italicized?
Possibly. No, it's not. It is adding to it was full of materials that have not yet inventoried what was fully in the car yet.
Interesting.
So yeah, the authorities have not found a manifesto or anything, or are still searching for a motive as to what drew him here. We know he was a transient here. We know he lived here for a better part of 2024, but in terms of how he got here, why he chose this place, we don't know. So maybe we'll find more once we do an inventory of his entire vehicle.
Whoa.
So yeah, he had recently lived in Phoenix, Arizona, but appears to have family in Idaho, about an hour's drive from Sunday's shooting.
Maybe he drove there to reconnect and they rejected him. And so
No idea right now. They're going to try and reach
I
out to
don't
his
know.
family and see what they can figure
why kill
out.
firefighters though? Just doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. Not to mention all the damage you're doing with this brush fire.
This is just total chaos. This isn't even just like a mass shooting. You are causing chaos in the greatest sense of the term. So just did not make any sense why he was shooting firefighters. Maybe he got rejected or something. One of the suspect's family members said he loved firefighters. It was his grandfather, Dale Rowley. But so yeah, they're trying to figure out what kind of things are going on right now and so they can find a manifesto of this guy or maybe a list of complaints that maybe would lead to somebody doing these kind of things. But as of right now, like I said, this was a total ambush on firefighters, which they had no reason to suspect this coming.
I know, right? Can you imagine that? You're focused on this raging brush fire as you pull up and then what the fuck?
It's very much seems like an episode of one of those like Chicago Fire or one of those TV dramas where like what kind of crazy situation we can put these firefighters in.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that wouldn't really happen on a normal shift, and something like this happens. So
The world is crazier than the stories, man.
Yeah,
They're-
right. We
They're
can't-
all inspired.
we can't write this anymore. It's just
Right.
happening.
Like look at CSI. Almost every episode of CSI is inspired by a true case.
Yeah. Same thing as like Criminal Minds as well.
That's what I meant. Criminal Minds. I'm sorry. Criminal Minds. That's the scary one.
Yeah, pretty much.
That show used to scare the shit out of me when I was a kid. And if I'd have known that they were all based on real stories,
Right? I'm never going outside again.
right? No wonder we're all in true crime nowadays.
Well, Michael, speaking of never going outside again,
Oh, God.
for our last story,
Speaking of agoraphobes.
speaking of, well,
Right,
not
is that right?
agoraphobes, but these guys are just not allowed to go back outside again.
Oh.
Because guess where this, I mean, I don't really have to tell you where it's happening. I feel like I could skip the first word of this sentence.
Florida.
It's in, yeah. But way to spoil it, Michael. Blank building Alligator Alcatraz migrant detention center in the Everglades.
Definitely a good old Florida man.
That's a Florida story if I've ever heard one, and it
Yep.
sounds like it's a fucking comic book story.
What is Florida man for 500, Alex?
Florida has begun building a detention center dubbed the Alligator Alcatraz to temporarily hold migrants on an airstrip in the Everglades. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said the facility would be funded in a large part by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, if you know what that means, FEMA, and Services Program, which was previously used to provide accommodations for aid, but not for a prison.
Right.
So the plan has been criticized by several lawmakers who argue it could be environmentally devastating to the Everglades to, yeah, I'm guessing so, to build a
Yeah.
big fucking prisons type system out there.
Right.
But it's just like I said, I'm trying to keep this. I'm trying to keep a lot of political stuff out of some of these articles. But the idea of Alligator Alcatraz could not be passed up by me. But we will expand facilities and bed space in just a day, thanks to our partnership with Florida. The facility is to be built on the site of the Dade Collier Training and Transit Airport, a public airport around 58 kilometers,
So there's
36
already an
miles
airport
from
there.
Miami. It's an airstrip, basically. Training and transition airport. Like, it's not like a full airport. Like it's not like a international airport or anything.
Right.
But yeah, it says.
So what's the reasoning here? You think they're thinking that they'll be discouraged to escape because of all the shit in the Everglades?
Yeah, they're literally thinking it's like, wow, you could never escape this kind of prison, because if the guards don't get you, the gators will.
Yeah, or the snakes.
Or the snakes.
Or the fucking iguanas will team up on your ass. Them things are getting big out there, bro.
Or just some random ass Florida man out there.
Yeah.
Eat your face off.
Bath salts, man.
In the Everglades, man, you get some bayou people out there.
Goddamn iguana on bath salts, you be in trouble.
Somebody gonna roast you on a stick out there, boy. So the detention center could be built in 30 to 60 days and hold an estimated 1,000 people, but argues that the location acted as a natural deterrent for escapees. If people get out, there's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons. Nowhere to go and nowhere to hide.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I
yeah.
mean, like I said, this seems like a comic book prison. It really does. It seems like this prison would be like in fucking
Vietnam
Louisiana
or
in a
something.
Batman universe. Like, this is like Arkham South. I don't know. Alligator
On the
Alcatraz.
bayou.
That's where we keep. That's where we keep Killer Croc and
right.
and Jeff the Land Shark. That's where we gotta keep all of our nautical themed villains.
Exactly.
But yeah, I love the notion of Alligator Alcatraz, because it just seems like of all of in a true crime world. I wanted to ask Michael, it's like, if there was an Alligator Alcatraz, who do you think would be sent to Alligator Alcatraz?
Oh, so many people. Look, Ted Bundy.
Bundy
got
could-
arrested
yeah.
in Florida.
I
right?
feel he would
wanted the death penalty, death by alligator.
He would have gone to Alligator
Yeah.
Alcatraz. in
Death
a
by
heartbeat.
alligator. They should start doing that.
Death by Gator. It's just like a Dark Knight Rises, where it's like death by exile. It's like,
I mean, they have
we take
to
you out.
choose it,
You just
but-
gotta make it through the Everglades by yourself.
Oh,
Just go.
yeah.
Just go.
Yeah.
You're free, man. You're free, man. Just go. You want to go? Go. You don't want to go?
What's that?
Okay.
What's that movie? I think it's about like the Mayans. Is it 10,000 BC or no? Apocalyptica.
Apocalypto.
Apocalypto.
Yes.
That's it. Oh my God! In that movie where they release the prisoners, but they make them run across the field. Mm-hmm. So basically, you could do that. You could be like, okay, you get early release, but you have to run across the Everglades to get out.
It's like, we'll make a deal with you. It's like, we'll take off 100 yards for each day of your sentence. It's like, you want to keep. It's like, oh, you want to serve that sentence a little longer? Give you 100 yards. We'll take you out in a fan boat, 100 yards.
Oh, okay. I see what you're
Serve
saying.
another year,
Yeah.
another 100 yards. We'll just keep taking you out. We'll give you a further head start. And this is where we'll drop
man.
you off, and then you got to make it out the rest of the way.
Right.
But if you want to just go, you're free to go. You're free to go. I mean, it's a 15-mile, hike through the fucking Everglades.
You know what's terrifying is how easily you could get rid of an entire body out in the Everglades. It's like so fast. It would just be gone.
Yeah, I played Red Dead 2.
Right? I mean, just gone. Just like that. There's so many creatures. I mean, just one gator gets it.
Oh, God,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And then it's never going to be one gator. It's going to be 2 or 3 gators fighting over the... And then,
Tearing everything apart.
yeah.
Yeah, fuck regular Alcatraz. That was just cold. And, and maybe a shark here or there.
Right?
If it got close enough to land.
Yeah, no, this is way more terrifying.
Right? Yeah, you're not making out of there. That
I mean,
is
just the mosquitoes alone.
they'll just carry you off. Go out there, the cicada's going to scare you off.
Yeah, the bugs alone, dude, and the snakes. God.
Like I said, I understand the mentality of it. I don't want it to be built. I do not want there to actually be a fucking alligator Alcatraz in Florida. It sounds like a goddamn comic book villain place. So it seems like some evil fortress that would be like for like a supervillain team, like Alligator Alcatraz, like a bunch of alligators around our moat.
Right?
But yeah, I was just wondering who both agree on Bundy. I think Bundy's going to Alligator Alcatraz in Florida. I think I don't know. I think Manson or Robert Picton. I think Picton would do good down there because Picton would be like, "Can I go play with him? I want to go pet him. I can play with I can pet the gator. They're like
Although
a pig.
he was
It's like a
Canadian.
pig. It's like a pig. I go play with it. It's like a pig.
It is like a pig.
It eat anything you throw to it.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. He probably did have that accent even though he was in Canada.
Hey, they're still Canadian rednecks. I've seen Letterkenny.
God, there's rednecks everywhere. Yeah, no doubt. There's rednecks everywhere. Yeah, I've seen Letterkenny.
But yeah, Michael, that was our
classic.
headlines and shenanigans.
Right on, Andy.
Alligator Alcatraz. I hope you're not
Alligator
built,
Alcatraz.
but I can fucking see the vision.
Jesus. Just what we need, another prison, right?
Yeah, prison for the alligators.
Yeah.
Keep them down there.
Yeah, but the alligator, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Just build like an electrified fence around it. And
It'll be-
just keep throwing alligators over it.
It'll be Jurassic Park.
That's right. They just keep breeding, getting bigger and bigger, eating everything in the Everglades. All right. Well, guys, thank you for listening to this special headlines and shenanigans episode. Again, let me remind you that you can check out Patreon, patreon.com/truecrimeguys, where you can hear all these episodes early, ad-free, with bonus content every week. Guys, we appreciate it so much. If you're able to, please rate and review and tell a friend, right? Check us out on social media at True Crime Guys, wherever you're at, to stay updated on the cases that we're covering and also whatever's going on in the world of true crime. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it. Until next time, I guess you have to keep on creeping, right, Andy?
All right, guys. Bye.